What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy from Budget Dad Barbecue and Brewing. This is part 2 of the Lifesmart 15-inch Kamado. So it's about 5 p.m. right now. It's pretty dark, as you can see, and it is frosty cold in Portland, Oregon. But I wanted to throw a couple chicken pieces on this grill to let you know how it performs. So I'm going to go ahead and get some charcoal in here. We'll get it fired up, and I'll take you through the process, and we'll check it out. Hopefully this thing performs. All right, so this charcoal is getting fired up here. One thing to mention is you know, this thing is really short. I'm really hoping that this IKEA table experiment comes through, because that's going to be a lifesaver. Because this thing, I'm only 5'6", and this thing is below my knee, so I'm really stooping down to the ground just to try to you know, put coal in and things like that. So we'll see how that works. So far, folks, the electric starter that they included works pretty well. I got another one that came with my Vision grill, and I've been using it for months. But for the purposes of this review, I went ahead and used what's included, and as you can see, it's firing up nicely. So I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes, and then I'll throw it in there, give it a little mix, put the grate on, and we're just going to burn off all the nasties, any of the little bits of styrofoam that's in there. We'll let it get the temp, and we'll throw some chicken on there. All right. This is looking solid here. So I just want to show you this. This was something really cool. My wife, ladies and gentlemen, I love my wife. She's a genius. I don't like putting this thing on the ground. You know, I got a small dog. I got a couple kids. I looked up multiple YouTube videos. What do I do with this big hot poker? And she came up with a genius idea. It's probably really dark, but I got it behind my grills here. Check this out. Right here. Cinder block. Boom. Pop it right there on the concrete. No one's it's not laying on the ground. No one's gonna put their hand in there unless they're really, you know, wanting some hurt. So yeah, that's what I got. Just a cinder block. Holds 2 of them. Beautiful. Let's close this thing up now. Okay. I'm gonna open it wide open. Okay, it's wide. All right, whoa, this thing is climbing, you guys, way fast. Check this out. Whoa. I mean, when I made the cut, yeah, it was like 2 seconds. This thing is climbing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. And pop that right there. Let's keep watching it. Whoa, it is still climbing. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna crack it. Now this is what I have to do on my Vision. You know, a lot of people, I just cannot keep these things wide open. Even if I have it barely cracked at the bottom, there's no way I'm gonna be able to hold a temp of 250, 275. It's gonna climb up to 400 before you know it. Okay, so I just did that. We are creeping up to 300. I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna check back in about 5 minutes. I'll come back and see what's happened. It might drop, which is pretty common, and then at least we know we're getting somewhere. And I'm gonna let this sort of burn for about 15, 20 minutes before I put anything on there. So it's been holding temp really well. It's probably been around 10, 15 minutes. I did put the grill on. I oiled that up, cleaned it, oiled it up, and then I also put the stone underneath it. So I'll show you that. I should have burped it. That's okay. I lived. One thing so far that I found that is an issue is the top vent. So when I was venting, it's actually really sensitive. Even this temperature control, it might be accurate. As you can see, when I try to close it, the entire thing shifts, and it's secured. Well, yeah, look at this. It's starting to lift. So this is a problem. So what I've had to do is tap it, but you see how the entire thing moves. Okay, my boy Eli is holding the camera for me. I'm gonna throw the chicken on. I think I've got way too much, but that's how much I had in the freezer bag. So let's check it out. We're holding about 300. It's a little higher than I wanted, but I'll go for it. I kind of wanted to do a low and slow with this. That's, I guess it's what, 530, Eli. So let's go ahead and hold it at 300. Let's open this bad boy up. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna try to avoid that very outside part. I just don't know how that would cook. This is a really simple recipe. I started off with a base of Worcestershire and mustard. Sometimes I do a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Some people would argue about that because they think that it's going to start to cook the meat already, but I don't add a ton. I add like half of a teaspoon just to give it a little acid. That's way too much. And this one, man, am I gonna be able to get this on here? Come on, baby. I might just do that. I think that might work. What do you think, Eli? These two little bits.
They can hang on the side.
You think so? I might be able to fit one. There's not gonna be enough ventilation. I'll put it on the side. Something tells me not to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. Living
on the edge. That's excitement in our household, right? Okay, that's a lot of chicken. These were multiple breasts I ended up cutting up, but these were huge chicken breasts. And I'm not a big chicken breast fan, but my boys are and my wife is. I'm more of a dark meat and bones sort of person, but I'll go with this. Okay. All right, so far, I have no complaints. It hasn't really tightened up, but man, oh man, I'm seeing the corners around the edges that are starting to really brown. I'll get some tongs and lift that up. See, this is where I feel that if I had a heat deflector and it actually hung lower and the diameter was a little bit bigger, you know, in the big Kamado, it doesn't, I mean, it allows for some airflow, but not a ton. So it really creates that sort of baking, roasting action. Whereas here, I feel that, oh man, that lava stone is getting so hot, or that pizza stone. Temps are actually, I don't know, they've been off and they've been on. Right now it's saying it's 302 degrees in here. This is reading 200 and, around 260. I don't think this is accurate. I didn't expect it to be accurate. Initially when I saw that chicken and remember how I saw it was already sort of really blackening at the bottom, it was hard for me to believe that this thing was at 250 and I was getting that much char and that much cook on it. So I think this is reading probably around a 25 degree difference. So I think from now on, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. However, I've been checking the different temps. I'm running around 265 on some, all the way up to about 275, 278. I'm gonna go ahead and take them off. I think that is plenty. What do you think, Mr. Palmer? He doesn't care. All right, they look okay. You know, they're not great. I've been spraying them with, I can't believe it's not butter. It's definitely not the same as my initial, essentially the Vision grill, the larger Kamado. However, I'm learning here, and I'm still confident I need to get a proper heat deflector that is not a pizza stone that sits a half an inch below the grate. So I'm gonna be on a mission here to try to find something that's proper. I'm gonna take the chicken off. I'll let you know how it is in just a couple minutes. You ready, folks? Let's do the taste test. Chicken's been resting for about 15 minutes. My kid Eli's talking to his granny in the back, so don't mind him. This is real life, people. I don't have any cameras here. My wife, Danya, is holding my iPhone. So it's on a budget. I don't have $800 to spend on equipment. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so again, my friends, knowing that this has probably been off about 25 degrees. Again, I don't think that this is specific to this Kamado. Even the Vision, I've heard all the other different Kamados have issues with the temperature gauge that's built in. And so some of these areas, right here, you can tell this was towards the center, this was towards the end, this was sitting in the center, this was towards the end. And here's where you can see a big difference as far as the consistency of where this sat relative to the Pizza Stone. I'm still, again, I've said this before, the Pizza Stone is awesome. I think it's great. Do I think that that's a proper, heating diffuser? Absolutely not. So I'm gonna be doing some really fine tuning measurements here. I've been going on eBay, checking out different mini Kamados from all different areas, because I really want something to sit on that lip of that fire bowl and hang down by 2 to 3 inches. I know that that's closer to the fire, but what I really want to do is sort of create that oven sort of effect and not have so much flamage going on. Well, you don't have so much space to work with this grill. In the standard Kamado, you've got, this much between the charcoal and the actual meat. But in this one, you've got this much. So this is gonna be a learning curve for me. However, I love the fact that you can smell that smoke. I mean, it's really, really nice. Let's go with the big boy here and let's see how this went. Oh, see, so it's juicy. Juices are coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and chop this like I'm doing a tri-tip. Okay. All right. Woo, hot. Okay. All right, so, as you would expect, again, I think I told you before, I'm not a chicken breast man. I think they're dry. I think they taste like chalk. My wife loves them. So do my kids. This is not my sort of go-to. Let's take a quick taste, knowing that I expect what I'm expecting, and that's dry, chunky breast meat. It's dry. It would have made a difference if I would have been at a true 250, 275. I typically cook chicken breasts at that rate in my Vision, and it's not as dry as this. So I am pretty confident I was at that maybe even 325 for the entire time. It seems a little ridiculous to go that slow for a chicken breast, but hands down, ask my entire family, I've gone for a couple hours going low and slow on just chicken breast. Just simple rub, and again, starting off with that base of Worcestershire and mustard, and sometimes a little apple cider vinegar. Don't judge me on that. And they have hands down been really, really good. I mean, some of the most moist, tender chicken breasts for what they are that I've ever had. So I'm tasting the smoke on this. It's nice. However, I think that the heat was an issue here. Let's try this one. I know what's gonna happen here, and this bad boy is probably chalky and dry. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna hand some to my wife here to see what she thinks. What do you think? It's dry, right?
It's dry, but it's good.
Okay, so lesson learned. I'm glad I did this test, and I'm glad I didn't do it on an expensive piece of meat. I'm glad I didn't do it on a whole chicken. So we'll try something. I'm gonna try this again. I might try it again in the next couple days, more chicken breasts. Knowing what I know, tomorrow I'm gonna check on it. I'll videotape it as far as that top. There is an issue with the ceiling there. So with that said, thank you for hanging out with me today. I had a good time. I hope you did. We'll come back with more videos. Like and subscribe if you want. If you don't, that's cool too. I'm not gonna judge you. We'll talk to you soon.